Okay. So, Quest 64, one of the best games of all time. Just kidding, it's alright. It's not really that crazy good, but I love it. It's a childhood favorite of mine. And that's what we're going to be doing today. I wanted to do this. I wanted to get it started today, but I was so close to the end of Minish Cap that I just really wanted to get that done first. So, we will get started. Soundtrack goes crazy. It is one of the best in all time. Also, every emulator I've seen has this like weird yellow highlight. Looks like Danganronpa blood under the text here. I don't know who did that, but Brian, even though I begged you not to leave, you still say you must go after your father. If you didn't read this is already starting in the middle of the story for the game. The story was in that beginning little cutscene that I was futzing with the volume, and definitely won't be in the VOD at all. But no matter how wonderful your powers may be, you are still a child. Also minimize my facial face audio real quick. Sorry, I said facial. Let's do that. I'm trying to get it so it's like in the black margin for the stream here. Okay. Either way, we're good. No matter how wonderful your powers are, you're still a child. Your father, Lord Bartholomew, left to search for the stolen Elatail book and has been missing for a month. No wonder you are worried about him. Contained is the words of the book and the power that exceeds human knowledge. I wonder who could have possibly stolen it from the crypt of the monastery. If an evil person should use it, the country and all its citizens will be destroyed. The spirit's blessings will disappear, and Keltland will once more again be visited by a day of grief. Bartholomew's disappearance may mean that he's caught in the fighting over the book. If you go, you may find yourself in danger as well. If you still insist, begin by going to Dondoran. I'll ask the king of Dondoran Castle to protect you. Thank you. I thought this dude looked like a lion while I started the game, but also, I don't know, this dude is dripped out, brother. Also has very big hunchback. Dondoran Castle, the protection you stopped by the monastery Peristex. They've been worried about you. You must not be stopped. During your quest, everyone will be waiting for you to return. So true. So, quick recap of the lore, what I remember it to be. I will just walk through the story like nobody has ever heard of this. There's Land of Keltland, 3 big kingdoms. We are of one of them, Dondoran, which you just mentioned. Either way, the third one, which I believe is called Brannock, it kind of went a little crazy. There's some fighting over this book that is supposed to have the secrets to all knowledge. Mulligan, Sorcerer's Stone, Philosopher's Stone, that kind of like magical item, kind of that kind of stuff in this, with magic and all this stuff. And your father, who was like an adept magic user, went to go find it, went missing, yada yada. You are one of the only people who can do this, and now you, Mr. Brian, and I, as a kid, thought his name was Quest, because the game was called Quest 64, and my brain was the size of a pea pod. Yeah. I actually have a lot to say about this game, because I've played it so many freaking times. And yes, as Jason said, the soundtrack does go hard. I will definitely shut up at times so you can hear it. This one's pretty good. It's a very nostalgic sound. I like it a lot. As you get close to a hidden spirit, you'll see a sign. When you see it, press the Z button. The mark of 4 spirits will appear. Press one of the C buttons to choose which of the spirits you wish to increase. You will need as much help from each of these spirits as you can get. Use the C button like this. The fire spirit is up, the water spirit is down, the earth spirit is left, and the wind spirit is right. Memorize these positions, or just see if my C button, there's elements. I'll get into that when we actually play the game and get into the battle system, but we have a spell of each element, and as you see in the bottom left corner, there's our elements of 1. It goes up to 50, and you learn different types of spells based off of that. One thing I want to do is, if we have actually a couple people in the chat, I would love to see what you guys want me to do as my elements. So we have fire, earth, wind, and water. Real quick, I'll go over that. Obviously, besides your elemental spells being quite obvious, I believe fire has offensive capability spells. Water has some ice variants and also healing. It's our only source of healing, so I would I might start with water until we actually get a decision on another element you can get. Without intense grinding, you can't get all four in a single playthrough. Just as a heads up. Then earth is very defensive focused, and wind is very movement evasion type of focus. You can do a mix of them all. It's probably best to max out an element or two. Most likely in a playthrough, you will probably get about two elements fully maxed out, with a little bit into a third if you're finding all the spirits and do a little bit of exploration and doing the battles, instead of running away from a lot of them. So I don't know if anyone has any preferences to anything they want to see. I might just level up at least the first couple things in water so we can get healing spells. That's going to help, especially in the overworld. I can try to challenge myself to not do that, but if anyone has any thoughts, Jason or anyone else in the chat otherwise, just let me know. Brian, the wooden scepter you carry and the magic spells you acquire throughout your journey are your only means of defending yourself against encounters with the enemy. Thank you. No preference for me, but 80% of my memory in N64 is going up playing this, Yoshi's Story, and Banjo-Kazooie. Those were like the three games I actually owned, and some of the best games, especially Banjo-Kazooie. I love Banjo-Kazooie too. I think that was the exact same door. Is this? Nope, there's no one in here this time. I don't remember there being really anything in these rooms. I think there's like one of the rooms that actually have like a chest worth of anything. Feel bad for the guy who programmed all these rooms to have absolutely nothing in them and not even an NPC that lore dumps at you. But other than that, it's a very generic story on, elements and the world going out of whack because people are doing evil things and are selfish and yada yada. We'll get into that. The camera is also very funky in some of these things. You have to like hold the B button to kind of like it'll face where Brian it'll kind of snaps very slowly. So snap is a very interesting word to use for this, but it'll kind of go to his position a little bit. It'll like kind of just go there. Spirits are hiding everywhere. Look for them in the town, the countryside, in every last nook and cranny. You can sometimes find them after battles too. Be thorough, laddie. No, I'm not going to do a Scottish accent. We ain't doing that. Everything you need. I can't do a Scottish accent. I don't think anyone wants to see me try, which is why I'm doing this, like, really shitty Deku for all the, like, monks here. When you find a treasure chest, move in close and the sign will appear. Press the and the sign will appear. Press the Z button and you will find items that will help you on your quest. These items, okay, he's just, I'm not going to read all these tutorials, but here, boom. Oh. I always said this looked like he was like sniffing his shoes because his like feet kick up a little bit. Yeah. Okay, what did sorry, I have to remember what I mapped Z to. So I'm playing on not a Nintendo 64. We have a dewdrop. If you pull up the L button? R button, you see your item recovery right here. And it usually just types of items. Dewdrops are actually kind of helpful in battles. They recover magic very quickly, instantly, I guess, in that sense. Most of the time you have to recover magic by going to an inn or walking, and it will slowly increase your magic points, so. Here, I actually want to do something real quick with the mapping here. So give me a sec. I don't know. The stream might get a little funky monkey here, so I apologize. Yeah, I figured that would be the case. You can see my Attack on Titan screen for a sec here. I wanted to remap them because I feel like it's going to be a little better in the long run here. Okay. Should be good. Let me just... Yeah. Okay. So I got a second dewdrop, and this, I want to say, is also another dewdrop. Hey, I'm good at this game. I am the Quest 64 lore master here. Marmaduke, let's go, my homeboy. Leave O'Brien. In his last letter, Lord Bartholomew said he crossed the Loch Kilderly on the way to Larpool. Be very cautious. Evil creatures lie in wait beyond these monastery walls. Okay, so at least give a direction on following your father. Not that there's much exploration to do. It's a Nintendo 64 game. It's kind of linear. Hello? Pilot. Welcome to the kitchen, laddie. Your quest is sure to be a long one. Please take this fresh bread. I made this myself. When the bread is gone, come back for more. I will always have some ready for you. So there's not shop systems in this game. You get most of your things from treasure chests. Very few from enemy drops, and there's some NPCs that will actually give you items if you have none of them. I guess just to make sure you never run out. I do the very cool tactic of saving before a boss fight, and if I lose a bunch of items during that, I will just reset. But as you see here, fresh bread actually does 50 HP recovery, which is a full heal at this time for us, which is very nice. They're cool. There's a lot of NPCs in the game that do that. Give you like a free item. Of course, it's only one at a time, so it's not like super busted, but it's still cool to know. Honey bread does 100 HP, so it's over a full heal, and that will be definitely good to save for a bit. I would recommend definitely not using that till you have over 100 health for sure. And that won't be for a tad bit. But we'll talk about leveling up when we actually start fighting, plus kind of how that all works out. Spirit, please protect this young lad. Light the way and watch over him. We'll make offerings for your safety until you return. Very cool. Okay, I think that's all the NPCs we can talk to. Let's get out here. And honestly, one of the peak songs in the game here. So this is the town of Melroad, which is just connected to the monastery a tad here. Nay. HH, Greg. And here is actually the first example of our spirits. So you find them in the overworld. And when you hit them, you get to actually choose. So I think, can I back out? No, you have to choose. So make sure you know what you're going to, and then you just select which directional pad you want. For now, since nobody's really said anything on that, I'm going to just go with water, because that's going to be the most useful in our playthrough. At least getting some of it banked in there. I think the first healing spell you get is around 7 or so spell points. And it keeps growing up. Like, the more points you have, the more powerful each spell will do. And that includes your healing spell. So we're on top of this little hill that overlooks the rest of the town of Melroad. We'll kind of go down, but we'll a little bit of a walk away, and I'll let you listen to the music. So we did it. We made it to the town. Super fun. We did it. We had such a long adventure, a quest, would you say? So, we got a couple houses to explore. Let's go do that first. It's a story from long ago, but terrible misfortunes fell upon Keltland because of the Eletail book. Green fields were turned into deserts overnight. Busy, prospering towns disappeared, and the people became lazy. Damn. These damn millennial kids getting so freaking lazy, I swear to Christ, bro. I swear to Christ. How we doing with this? I'm just checking some audio real quick Okay. Ralph a real one though. He knows. He knows what's up. Absolutely nothing with that house. Cool. Hello, Grandma.
My grandchildren have gone out to play despite the dangers that look outside our gates. I worry that the monastery will not be able to protect them much longer. But I won't do anything about it, I'm just going to complain. Fuck my life.
Alright. Let's go quickly down here. I remember you can just kind of check out the ocean here. What's up, fisherman? Sam? Edgar, never mind. Halt, who goes there? Oh, it's you, laddie. Ever since your father went away, we've had to stand guard against the monsters that are surrounding our town. Lord Bartholomew was the spirit tamer. And we will not be returned, or be not see... No, we will not be safe until his return. So you're guarding the ocean. Good job. I'm proud of you. What's up, children? I'm a pirate. The monsters out there don't scare me. I want to be a spirit tamer just like you when I grow up. Brian, sometimes you will need to use the B button to adjust your view. Why do you know that? You're a child. What are you doing? Who's afraid of the big bad werehair? You. I wish I could cast a magic spell on you and hurt you, child. In most towns, you'll see these signs that have this like pot-like item. I don't really know what it's supposed to be. It's like the item shop, more or less, and then the house is your inn. So we'll go check all of them out. Item shop and or pub. You want to go check these out because these actually have some good items you want here. So ready to travel? Are you fine? We'll give you some white wings. They will bring you back to Melroad anytime. It is important that you understand that wings will only work in open spaces. Take care. So these are items you want to get in every town. Mysterious wings take you to Melroad. So there's just kind of like a fast travel system, but they're a one-time use and you can pick one up at a time. So it is a little annoying, but if you ever need to fast travel to a town, you just got to make sure you grab those and then go pick up the item again. And you can get unlimited travel to towns. Not like it's super important, but as I said, with some of the NPCs that pick up the items, you're going to want that, especially if you ran out of fresh bread, you'd like some more kind of thing. Your father used to visit us often. He brought us prosperity to all of us in Melroad. Lately, I've heard that monsters have been seen all along the roads. They even say a thief is hiding in the woods. With your father gone, there's no one to tame the evil spirits. We pray Lord Bartholomew can find his way back and save us. So true. It's getting dark and my boys are still outside playing. I wish they would come home soon. But I will sit in here and do fuck all to solve it. Okay. They're also like 5 feet outside your house. That's cool. Wow, does your father let you play outside? My mother says the monsters will get me. Aren't you afraid? Yes. I think we just got this house to check, the inn, and then the kind of farm fieldy place in the background there. There's absolutely nothing of note. Well, sometimes it feels like you're trying to fight with the camera, and it definitely makes it a tad nauseating. So, apologies, it's never meant to do it intentionally, I will say. right, when fighting, you will have the two octagonal areas surrounding you. The large octagon represents the entire fighting area. The small octagon represents your personal area of movement. Use your area of movement to avoid enemy attacks. If you move outside the large octagon, you will have the option to escape the fight. Yeehaw, brother. Yeah, I do know there's a spirit in the corner here. Once again, I'm gonna go. You're finally back. Oh shit, I didn't know that. Well, hopefully nobody's hurt with the glass broken everywhere. Damn, you missed my Quest 64 spiel. That's so sad. And I don't know if you saw me beat the game, but I guess you haven't talked for a bit. Anyways, I've been talking, since you do about... Oh, what's about? Nah, it's no worries. I was just joking more. You're missing one of the best songs in the game, though, Melroad. This song. I am talking about elements. I wanted the stream to see if they want any input on this. I'm leveling towards water right now because it has the only healing spells in the game. So I want to try to get that, but if there's other elements you guys want to see, whether it be fire, earth, wind. Fire does offense spells as well. Earth is defense, wind is evasion and stuff, and then water does healing and other things as well. If there's any other things you, if there's any elements you want to see me level up, most likely we will get 2 full one. Yeah, water is best for a safe playthrough, for sure. It's because you'll get a healing spell pretty early on, but your better healing, it's not really super great. It's good outside of use, but the one you want to use in battle is like, I think you actually get it at about 25, water points, which is halfway because every element maxes out at 50. Another fresh bread we just obtained. Every element maxes out at 50, and at that point you're already halfway through the water one, so it might as well. Most people level up water unless they're maybe trying to do a challenge run or simply don't know. Because healing, aside from these items, since these are finite items, except for the one you can get, which I try to use items in like a pinch moment, and then use healing spells more regularly. So we've checked everywhere now except for the inn here. I'm gonna go up top first and ignore the people down there clearly wanting to talk to me. Just getting wild flashback seeing this. I love Quest 64. It is peak gaming. Oh, what's up? There are so many spirits in Keltland's fields and valleys. Probably around the towns, too. Only a true spirit tamer knows when the spirits are near. Okay. Do you know where the burgers are near? Funny joke, because he's overweight. Once again, I feel bad for the person who designed all these rooms for absolutely nobody to ever be in any of them. Okay, well, let's talk to this lady who looks out of place, but... Hello, Master Apprentice. I'm Shannon. I've been traveling hither and yon, all over Keltland. I see you're setting out on a quest, too. Haha, she said the name. I trust we will run into each other along the way. She's a recurring kind of NPC that will just show up at a lot of the inns and just kind of... Shannon hype. Yeah, I know, it's so true. Shannon, when are you sexy lady? What's going on? You want to tell us something, bud? She reappears and just kind of is a reoccurring character that kind of lore dumps about the area you're in half the damn time. Don't you feel tired, Master Apprentice? Please rest here for the night. We'll take good care of you. Will you stay? So here you save. I think it shows how many days you've been going, which is how many times you've saved, more or less. And actually how it's been going, because there's like a day and night cycle too, but that doesn't mean a whole lot. So we saved here. This is how you fully heal yourself if you need to, and obviously just simply save the game. Kind of like in like Dragon Quest or something like that. When you die or get knocked out in battle, you will return to your last inn you've been at. So you want to make sure you check into the inns of the town, especially if you go to a long dungeon. Dungeons are a sprawl. And you bet your bosoms I will be probably putting a save state right before the boss fights. If it goes south, I will probably just reset there unless I actually need to grind up. Some of these dungeons are fucking long for like some of the standards. I'm actually glad that one of the longest dungeons in the game has no boss. Spoiler alert. Just because having a boss at the end of that would make it actually terrible. It's definitely the lowest point. But the field of music. Alright, this song's good. I love this Overworld song. It's so fucking good. So, if you haven't checked yet, which I have not pulled up, we actually have a map. Holy plan. We got this holy plan here. All this does is show us where you're headed. The game's segmented into different areas, so this is the full of the game. This is just like the first section of the game. So, this is kind of like the Kingdom of Dondoran, as we were talking about, one of the 3 major kingdoms in this game. So we just left the town of Melroad, where the monastery is at. Dondoran is our next location, where the abbot told us to go to. And you see there's unmarked things. They're usually just like houses and other random places that don't have anything super great, but you might just want to check them on your way out. Then there's a forest at the south called the Connor Forest. So, not that we know much to do. As you see, it's still very linear, but the world is actually quite expansive, which I know I love this game, but I do have to shit on it for being not super great. One thing I do say is the world is actually quite expansive, especially for the N64. Now we're into another banger song, The Battles. Going over this too, and I'm talking about this because I'm assuming not a lot of people have actually played this game, so apologies if you are familiar with the game. But yeah, as the farmer guy actually said walking through, there's 2 octagonal rings, so this big yellow one is our battlefield, and then this blue one is our form of movement. Of course, we were kind of pinned up against the wall here. One thing he didn't tell you is if you cross under the yellow, or go through the yellow line, you can try to escape. And I think it's when you unlock the Glock later, that lets you escape. I think it's a fully successful escape. Obviously, boss fights you can't escape from. This isn't boss fights, these are just 2 hellhounds. Yeah, so then you take turns going. Sometimes the enemies will start, sometimes you start. I think that's based off your agility or speed stat, which we haven't gone into yet either. So now your next thing is to choose an attack. You choose which directional pad you want with the C buttons and choose. Obviously, these are fire-type enemies. The beginning is pretty easy. Shows you very basic elemental affinity monsters. You want to get water, but the water pillar is a very close-range one. You kind of have to experiment with them, unfortunately. An improvement I would have loved to put in is showing like actual where your things would hit. So I will probably mess around with these just since if anyone's curious and we want to choose another element later on. Rock, a lot of people like for the defensive spells. It has one of the most broken spells in the game, but it also launches a rock at a kind of an awkward angle. The hit radius is quite nice though and forgiving. We'll do water pillar since you gotta get that. When you see this little staff icon, that means you're in melee range. You can just hit him with your staff and knock him for pretty decent damage, all things considered. Water pillar, as you see, they're weak to that, so they did a lot more damage, and it's just a pillar of water. So, if anyone's played Final Fantasy II, level up system's actually very similar to that. With your attacks kind of dictate how you level up. So when you use magic attacks, you level up your magic points. Horny bonk the hellhound. Yeah, you do get the horny bonk them. And then your physical stuff, I believe, actually increases your HP. Taking damage also increases your HP and health as well. Let's actually show fire here. Fireball. This is just a shot of fire. Oh, and then, yes, so after a while of battling, you actually will unlock your next element to level, or I'll show you that here real quick. So, your HP stat, as you see, I have an experience point, so it goes up like 1 point every little bit. So HP is, I believe, hitting people with your horny bonk stick and taking some damage. MP is using your magic. Defense is, I think, just taking damage once again. And agility is actually moving around. That's pretty much it. Agility is going to be the easiest one to level up, but it also takes probably the longest simply for the fact that it's very simple. You can just level up your agility by going through. As you see, I already have a couple stats in agility, as it's probably started at like 4 or 3 or something like that. So this fills up. This is a percentage for your elements. This is when you're actually using magic as well. After this fills up a certain amount of gauge is when, after a battle, you'll see the elemental chooser as it just showed up instead of finding a spirit. You'll get enough spirit energy, choose an element to level up. So that's another way of grinding it. That is the other way of grinding up instead of finding wild spirits. So we will continue to do that. So I'll try to show off stuff. I wish we could do all elements. I don't think I'll grind them all out, but if anyone wants a preference, let me know. I think the only one we haven't shown is Wind Cutter, which actually that enemy did. A lot of the enemies will be using the exact same spells as we are. That was water. Wind Cutter is cool. It's somewhat of a it's a homing attack, but it's not super reliable, if I'm being honest. Sometimes it just misses. And as you see, you have to be super close for that Water Pillar to hit. And I think I actually just saw, with 4 elements, we actually get Water Pillar level 2, which missed. Obviously, even if you're in range and it does hit, it has a chance of missing. That's just kind of, I think, the agility stat once again. So, Water Pillar 2 does more damage and has a little bit of a heavier radius. Obviously not super crazy, but there are other spells we'll be learning later. It's just you kind of start very basic, clearly. Another cool thing you kind of do, I'll show you here where we're facing, because this game is also very hard to check. You want to check your map a lot, especially some of the wider areas to make sure you don't get lost, but I'll show you what happens after this battle, as we were facing away from the Hellhound when we got done with the battle. You actually face where you were last roaming, which helps quite a bit, especially in the dungeons where you're exploring caves and shit and they all look the same. So, good thing to remember. I don't think it's the same when you run away from enemies, though, however, so if you choose to run away, be careful. It's actually a rare encounter of these two enemies. I forgot their names, but it's not often you see these guys in this first area. Parasalt, except it's spelled assault. Oh, did he freeze me? Yeah, he did. So yeah, these guys have actually a dangerous spell of Ice Knife, which is a spell we'll learn later in the game, but yeah, we're kind of stuck. We can't move, but we still can use attacks, which is why Wind is actually a very good spell for this because of its homing ability. Of course, the tree's kind of blocking our view, which kind of sucks, but bummer shoot. So we're gonna hope it wears off. I think it just has a chance to wear off after every turn. Yeah, it's still missed here. These could be slightly dangerous. Oh, okay, it actually broke out of it. Cool. I think you're weak to fire, so I'm gonna try that. Because he's definitely using ice, this guy's using fire, so I'm gonna try opposite. That's usually a good strategy. There's a way to figure it out, but that is actually one of your magic abilities. I believe you learned that through the the water path as well. Oh, I see an element in the background in that far corner. You can kind of see it. Another thing, as we're seeing it here too. Oh wow, another element already. Cool. Is that your magic points, every level 1 spell costs 1 magic point, level 2 spells cost 2, level 3s cost 3. Nothing goes over level 3. And that sounds kind of lame, but at the same time, it does actually add up quite a bit, especially in some of the boss fights. I'm actually surprised we took a lot of damage so far, but we don't have a healing spell, which is also why you want one, because using a healing spell out in the world would be super helpful. There's not a way to other heal over time. So, it's another reason why I heavily recommend it. Speaking of that, I might want to start horny bonking a few of these hares and rats, so. That's enough yapping. Let's continue on to this special little hut. I always call these kind of checkpoints in my way to Donduran, always the first kind of section here, but I know once you get in close enough vicinity to these houses, you're kind of in a safe zone if you ever needed to recover mana. RIP. Oh, we actually did level up our hit points again. That's sick. Sickle mode, even. So I think in here, obviously, you're not going to get into a battle. Is there not? I swore there might be one in the house. You'll definitely want to check out these houses. There's usually some sort of treasure chest or even spirits. So let me see if my thing was right. Yes, so you get healing level 1, finally. It sucks. It really sucks. But at this point, it is simply better than nothing. And yeah, you gotta do this every time. But as I was saying, the more you pump into water, you will get better. So once you get 8 water points, you will have a little bit more, and so on and so forth.
Travelers don't show up here very often. It seems that this isn't safe anywhere on the roads these days. I see a future for your fraught with danger and challenges that no ordinary human could meet. It isn't clear, but your destiny awaits you at the end of the longest road.
Thanks, Grandma. Bye. I'm gonna probably run around this house in a circle just to get some magic, because you just, as you see here in a sec, you get magic while we're walking, so. Okay. So, now that I've covered the elements, anyone change a preference at all, just in case? I don't know. Obviously, we'll do water, I think. It is mostly preferred. I know if you want to think of the optimal playthrough, people always say Earth because it has a very broken spell that you can kind of use to cheese the game, so to speak. I don't like using it because I like to actually give myself a challenge, in a sense. I actually very like Wind quite a bit. Wind has some very cool abilities. I use fire the least, but I would be okay with that. So if anyone, bro, just spit on you. Nah, he used water pillar. Actually, we can show this too with 8 elements in water now. We do about 5. So, yeah. Healing level 1 is extremely ass. Once you get to healing level 2, that actually can do some good stuff over some time. So, I forgot how bad the healing is exactly. I knew it was poor, but I didn't think it was that poor. So, yeah, that hippo thing, I forgot what Big Mouth, I think it was called, literally, which is the name of also a terrible TV show. Mind you, but yeah, there's one enemy of every type of. We haven't seen the Earth one, but these are the Werehairs are the Wind dudes, Hellhounds are the Fire dudes, Big Mouths are the Water dudes, and then you'll get to see the Earth guys. But I think you see those a little bit closer to Dondoran and that forest area we showed on the map. But obviously, elemental affinities do have some sort of play, as you see. That the rock, I mean, water pillar level 2 does a lot more because I have the most in that, but even rock level 1 does about 10 damage to Werehair, which actually instantly kills these guys, which is super dope. Yeah. God, these guys again? These guys always come in pairs too. I know they're the outliers of this area, I think. Yeah, you can tell I played this game a lot because I know that these are the only 5 enemies, or the 6 enemies in the game if you count this as a duo. But these 2, and then there's one of each of those 4 elements. This is why I have Quest 64 Brain Rot and don't have women. In terms of the game, I do recommend, I actually do fight a lot of the enemies. You can run away from them, and obviously it's good to do that in a pinch, because like I said, wherever you die, you do just get yeeted back, so we get all the way back to Melroad. Now I'm kind of going out of my way to make sure we can get all to the, just checking the little corners to see if there's spirits and stuff. I don't memorize where all the spirits are. I do know where some are, or general areas. Curtis. Farther along this road is Dondoran and the Connor Forest. Don't get careless in the woods. A robber is about. Fucking Organization 13 head ass looking motherfucker. Okay, this is the way. A firm. You could also use the compass. I don't like the compass because I'm not I'm a real gamer like that. I guess I didn't talk about this. You can kind of evade. Of course, it's mostly the attacks go off by the time it shows up because you see the enemy. It zooms in on the enemy, they do the attack, and then you have like a split second to move. However, you can move while the animation's going off a little bit. So if you just hold a direction, it kind of goes in that way. And you can avoid it, as one of the characters in the monastery said. That some of them will just hit you like that. The ice knife, however, you can dodge, and there's a few other spells that are actually very helpful to dodge. I know for a few boss fights, there's a few of the attacks where you want to try to bait bosses into using a specific attack that you have a chance of avoiding. It's not super great. I wish the mechanic was a little better. Kind of the same with aiming, like it maybe showed you a radius of, an area you didn't want to go, but that's fine. This is on my hypothetical. If I were to somehow remake Quest 64 into a better functioning game, what would I do? And that's what I would do. And here's this dude gonna spit on me, as Jake said. Guess I won't necessarily hold that back. Yeah, the point leveling system is very slow. However, when you do fight bosses and other big events, I think like that, you do get a massive boost in most of your stats, so that is nice. So you're not going to be slowly, like, I think when you beat a boss you get like 30-40 hit points. If I had to remake Quest 64, I'd have a piss hype. Yeah, honestly, if water, you went down a path of fire or acid, and it would get piss. And here's our last enemy that we've yet to see here, which is I think they're called man-eaters, and they're the earth variant enemies here. I actually kind of like these designs. They go kind of hard. You love piss hype? I hope so too, brother. And of course, if you get a big enough attack like Water Pillar, as long, that miss means it was in radius to hit him still. You can hit multiple enemies. And this is a very perfect example of showing how to dodge. Earth attacks are very easy to dodge as if you're the character. Enemies don't have that luxury as they have to wait till the attack is over, which is nice on your end, but imagine if the enemy could just move the way your attack. I would actually hate that. But no, I think these enemies, that enemy design goes a little dummy hard, which is another plus I like on this game. I like the enemy designs. Yeah, they're a little goofy because of the N64, but I think they're cool. Are they inspired? Not really. They're very generic, like, RPG tropes. You're fighting, like, I mean, these are basically rats. You're fighting, like, hellhounds. Those are kind of sick. Those man-eaters are frightening. Good thing Quest 64... Quest is just a voice. He's safe. Yeah, that's so true. You know, I think if Quest knew how to say that, please don't hurt me, man-eaters, and don't eat me, they would not be able to eat him because they legally cannot eat him and cannibalize him without their consent. So, Quest's consent, my bad. I ruined the joke, as you can tell. I just kind of fumbled that one fucking terribly. Okay. So, we are now at the Kingdom of Dondurn. That actually took a lot less time than I thought. But we're here. That's so cool. I think I'm just gonna be a trend. I like all the songs in this game, I swear to God, but this is another banger. So Dondurn, very different to what we've seen. It's a lot more, well, big. It's bigger and it's a lot more like dry. But this is actually like more of a city. As you saw, the icon was a castle. That is indicative of the fact that this is a castle town. Go figure. Cool info, fun facts from Josh. Obviously, the houses are a tad bigger as well. In terms of Dondurn, I think this is the biggest place in that this section of the country, or whatever you want to call it. But let's go explore, and then eventually our goal was to meet with the king and see what we can do and get some help to go figure out where our father went. Obviously, we heard he went to somewhere called Larpool, but we are stuck, and I think with lore, I can spoil a little bit of the lore if you don't mind, but I do know that to get to the area we need to go, we have to cross through the forest, which you would like the permission of the king to, because he has the way blocked off for safety reasons.
Have you seen my husband, the potter?
Harry? He is so depressed, I worry about him. He drinks and hits me. People used to come from far away to buy my husband's wares, all the way from Limalin, all the way across the loch. But with the thief about, there is no one to buy our wares. And yes, as we've heard, this is the second time we've heard of a thief in the game somewhere. Hopefully he's a man thief and not a boy thief, or else Quest will be safe. I wish you could name the character. I would totally name him Quest instead of Brian. His name's Clay and he's the potter. I make pots and vases, but because of the robber, I can't get any clay. If I don't get some clay, soon my business will be ruined. And I'm going to clay myself. Funny joke. Funny joke. Fuck. Yeah, if you can't tell, this is very centered around the earth element in the game. There's a lot of, being the land of Keltland and the four elements, every thing is kind of influenced by the elements. My mother and father won't let me go out to play. It's because of the robber in the woods. If you want, I could go out and help you catch that guy. But Mom would make me sit in the corner for a week. Yeah, that would be terrible, kid. El Bozo. Which is a cool thing. Nobody talks about it, but nobody talks about this game, so that's another point. The lore building is cool. Like, this place is all influenced by the earth, and that's why there's things like pottery that's... You see the town is kind of dug into the side of, like, these rock faces. You're kind of... It looks cool. I don't know. Not much to say about it. I just like it. It's a cool detail. It makes every town unique, and in RPGs, towns are peak. I'm also very passionate about the fucking game, for some reason. I'll talk to my therapist about it. I'll let you know what he says. Have you seen Princess Flora? She's a tomboy, and always getting into the mischief. I wish she was a femboy. Exactly like the late queen when she was young, but she'll turn into a real beauty in no time. That's weird. That's weird. You're just a random lady gossiping in the middle of a field of sand. Even the king is worried about the robber. I've heard he even sneaked into the castle. No one knows when the robber might come back again. I just hope he doesn't find our house. Father has hidden all of the valuable pottery, just in case. RPGs are cool when they build lore and the little stuff inside, like, you know, towns are meant for, like, professions. This is like a big pottery trading town, hence why it's probably a little bit more of a, you know, town as opposed to Melroad, where Melroad was just at the foot of a monastery and more people were just farming and fishing and doing like that humble kind of lifestyle. This has a more bustling city kind of vibe. I like it. I think it's cool. My favorite character, Thom. I'm assuming it's Thomas, but why is it just, I don't know. You're the Melroad Magician's apprentice, aren't you? Your quest is very difficult. Thank you. It's been very tough. We'll give you the yellow wings. They ought to help you out. You must remember that these wings will not work in the forest or caves. And yeah, once again, the item shop here gives you the wings. This time we have the yellow wings, so once again, fast travel to Dondoran as well. So, I would, yeah, wait till you use the fast travel till you get the wings of that choice. So if you need to go to Melroad for something, maybe if you ended up using the bread and if you're going in a different path instead of the water path. So here, it kind of looks similar, but it's actually like the pub. I know they have a few icons that look very similar. This chick, I do remember, is actually important for the fact that her name's Mabel, actually. Let's check out something. Sorry. I thought I'd treat you to a drop of morning dew, but you already have some. Well, next time, perhaps. Yeah, so she will actually give you dewdrops if you don't have any, but that is such a very common item, especially in the early game, and they get outclassed very quickly that I can't see many people finding a use for them, if I'm being completely honest with you. So you get that early heal. But can we talk about Redhead Mommy right here? Just saying. Can I get Redhead Mommy in the chat, please? Please? Validate me. This guy's name is Rox, because he works at the rock area. I'm a clay digger, but I can't go into the woods because of the robber. What to do? Can't work. Redhead Mommy, Mom Alert. Let's go. Thanks, Rox. What is your name? Dirt? Davey. Oh, okay. I saw D and I got a little excited. That's what she said. They say the robber is using an old fort in the forest as a stronghold. Isn't stronghold one word? Not two words? Because that's a stronghold. Like, bro has a good hold. I don't know. It's dangerous to set foot outside the city while he is about. And also, there is like a line in this woman's mouth. What the fuck is going on? There's always some fresh bread for you. Come again when you run out. Yeah, so this chick also gives you fresh bread. I do remember that. There's 2 characters that give you fresh bread if you run out of fresh bread, hence, but we already have 2. I actually made use of this on one of my playthroughs back in the day where I would use a lot of the fresh bread because after a while you get better healing items and these weaker ones you can actually just get free of eventually. So the Melroad one up in the monastery, that's already outclassed. You don't even need to go there. I don't even know why that NPC exists because now you have 2 item givers in the same little period here. So in terms of using up your fresh bread and the dew drops, sorry. Fresh bread and dew drops, I would say you can use those early game. You don't need to be super conservative with them. You can get them, and as I keep saying, there are so many better healing items. I would tell you when you want to save a few, and you'll know when you want to save a few. Those are near the end of the game, of course, but... Oh, let's go. This guy looks hype. Walter! Everyone talks about the robber in Connor Forest, Walter. It's frightening, Walter. He sneaked into the castle, tricked the guards, and stole a precious stone, Walter. The stone he took is called the Earth Orb, Walter. It was used a long time ago to make crystal meth, Walter, to restore calm when a great disaster befell Coutland. I'm not gonna subject you to that, but yeah, there's your lore dump actually in game as, yes, the Earth Orb is our magical elemental MacGuffin here, and that is why this place is very Earth-oriented, but here's a cool view before we go into the inn. I quite like it. I think the draw distance in this game for N64 is also kind of cool. Like, this isn't anything special graphically, but I think it's okay. For a game that sometimes feels very unpolished, I think some things are very polished. Music and graphics are actually one of those. I've seen Brian, the model of him, I don't think it's too bad. It's very N64-y. A lot of the NPCs, I've not really talked about this, but they are... I mean, this is very... Brian looks very N64. This dude looks like he got ripped straight from Final Fantasy VII with his really shitty arms, like on the PS1 kind of graphics, so... Have you heard the news? A robber is living in Connor Forest. He became so bold that he stole a precious treasure right out of the castle. It's unbelievable. I also love the sleigh bells in this. Hitting away. Alright, and here once again is Shannon. Shannon hype. Shannon returns.
It's nice to meet you again, Master Apprentice. I'm surprised you made it this far so quickly. I made it faster though. Ha ha ha. I sprint. I assume you've heard that a robber is hiding in the forest.
Yes, everyone fucking talks about the robber hiding in the goddamn forest. Returnal.
He has blocked off the road to Loch Kildorley. Just our luck. We are stuck here again until the road opens.
So yeah, that's your thing, as you said. As I said again, I guess I could just wait till the NPCs say it half the time. But yeah, our destination, we heard, is in the area roughly of Loch Kildorley. And that is blocked off because the pathway is in the forest. You usually need the king's permission, but the robber stole the key and the Earth Orb and now is just hiding out there. That's kind of dumb. I feel like you're just kind of making everyone show up to you. I don't know. Oh, hi. Kind of jump scared me. Steve! I've just arrived here in Dondarran from across Loch Kildorley, but there is a robber in the woods, and there's no way to get back. I don't know why that went to Alex Jones, but we're fine. Oh my God! There's frogs in the forest. Fuck, it went the wrong way. Okay, I'll just hit a save here. Welcome to Dondarran, the town of pottery. Master Apprentice, what can we do for you? I'll spend the night because I love you, Mr. Old Man. So I think we've explored everywhere but the castle here, so let's go check it out. The castle is actually massively huge. A lot of goodies hidden around, so we'll go check that out. The this chainmail dude is very cool. Talking about that NPC models as opposed to the important characters like you and or Shannon, where you returning characters or more important characters. They look not too bad, and then these guys look a little rough. Welcome to Dondoran. You are the lad from Melroad Monastery, aren't you? King Scott Fort is waiting in the throne room. Yo, it's Grant. A hearty welcome to the Master Apprentice. This Grand Abbot informed us you were coming. That looked like a V for a sec. I almost thought I said informed versus. Yo, Grant in the city of Pottery? That's so wild. Only those who know know. Before going to the king... let's just go talk to the king and then we'll do the exploration. Oh, what's up, dude? This guy looks legit. You know. Let's go. Hugh, the throne room is through these great doors. You have been cleared to pass. Please proceed. Oh, what, you did it? I don't know. At the flashback of like Earthbound, I think there was like a dude in like I think the first town where you just talked to him. He's like, "Whoops, sorry, almost just beat you up right there." That's kind of what that guy was giving me the vibe of. This guy looks very kingly. Why have you kept us waiting? We've had a serious robbery here, and the king has no time to waste, so be quick about it. I made that voice because of your pointy-ass nose. Bro, you go to lean into a kiss, you're like that Phineas Ferb face, bro. Got that Phineas type build? Alright, let's go. Scottford. So, the Master Apprentice and the Grand Abbot... So, you are the Master Apprentice the Grand Abbot has written about. Welcome to Dondoran. I know you are searching for your father, Lord Bartholomew, who is missing on his quest for the Elatail book. I would like to help, but first, I must take care of a most pressing matter. You have heard of the brazen thief who stole the Earth Orb from my secret treasury. I sent my troops in pursuit, but they were helpless before the thief's black magic. He now blocks the road to Loch Kilderly. If you are to continue your quest, 64, the roads must once again be made safe. Can we get a quest counter? I think we should, honestly. And then every time I'll add in quest 64. Yes, the secret treasury. I wonder what it is. Is it maybe the happened discolored indented wall in the back of his throne room? Anyways, moving on. Yes, this is his personal bedroom and his chests that are wide open. Your chests are open. And I'll steal your dew and your bread too. Alright, so yeah, once everyone is so nice of Brian, they just see this lad from the monastery and they're like, just come in and steal our items and stuff, but that's very RPG fashion. Yeah. So now we can go explore the castle, just grab a couple items, talk to some NPCs, get a little bit of extra lore bits and pieces, and we'll continue on. It sounds like that's our first destination, where we gotta go to the Connor Forest where the thief is. But that's all. And yeah, with kind of obvious intentions here, this is our first big fight of the game. That's another reason if you want to level up Wind, the first boss is Wind based, so you might want to get Earth based, so you might want to get Wind to counter that. Not like it's super important. I would recommend having the healing spells, but as long as you kind of have some semblance of build up and some good items, I think you'll be able to take them. The first boss isn't super difficult in my opinion, but we'll talk about that more when we get there, of course. I like to make sure you are getting all of your elements in order, getting all the spirit counters, the spirit markers here. And yeah, just keep going with that, so. Check all the rooms.
Well, it's the Magician's Apprentice.
This is Princess Flora's room. Should the king see a trespasser enter here, there will be an uproar. So I guess it's cool if I'm here. Yeah, and over here is the princess, which I'll talk to her for a sec. Flora, you enter unannounced? Your manners are worse than a thief's, but there's something about you. You're a magician, aren't you? Have you come to help us capture the thief? I wanted to go after him myself, but Father forbade me to leave the castle. I command you to go into the forest, find the thief, and return our rightful possessions. If you have the courage, my father will reward you handsomely. Cool. Yeah, this is a character that I think her model is a lot more unique as opposed to some of the NPCs here. And this is my headcanon that maybe at one point they had planned party members, and she was going to be one of your first party members you picked up. Just because there's another character that also plays a big role in terms of like kind of a side character you see a lot more, but I don't know. I think having party members would actually be kind of dope. That would be also, if I remake Quest 64 counters here, that would be a thing, having like a party member system or some kind of thing like that. Or having come in for attacks or stuff like that. But yeah, no. It made it seem like the people talking about her, how she seems like she wants to go fight, but her father's forbidding her. Like, she could escape, you meet her in the forest, you get her as a party member. It seems very RPG-esque, where that's how you get a party member like that. But that's my headcanon on a few characters that probably could have been an NPC, or like a playable character on your team, but ended up getting scrapped for whatever reason. I'll talk about the other one when we actually get to that point. See anything else? Gibson, you startled me. I thought it might have been the thief coming back for more. We never suspected that one man could pose such a threat to our castle, but the magic that he had was overpowering. The castle guards went after him, but they were no match. I'm still nursing my wound. When fighting Solvering, try to avoid his close-range attack. It does too much damage for such a small lad as yourself. That's actually the name drop of the dude, this thief named Solvering, or I called him as a kid, Saliva. And actually kind of a good tip, because yes, as I was talking about with moving around, kind of avoiding enemy attacks, they all have different ranged attack, or different types of attacks depending on your range. More different enemies will have that. Obviously, right now we've only seen enemies that pretty much have one attack. Enemies and especially bosses have multiple attacks. As the game gets more complex, you'll want to know the best places to be to try to potentially maybe avoid that. And yeah, as you said, that close range attack does massive damage, and that wasn't flavor text, that is an actual warning. Avoid that at all costs. Pass art. Since a thief broke in here just recently, everyone who comes in has to be identified. I'm sure someone from the monastery can be trusted. I don't know about that. I'm pretty sus. Okay, I think that's everything in the castle. Guess I kind of hyped it up to being a lot bigger than it actually was, but yeah, it's fine. Yeah, we can come back here later to get the rewards, because there's actually some goodies you want to get, and you don't want to pass up on them. But I actually did forget to talk about it. There was a new item we actually picked up, which was the mint leaves that was found in the princess's room. They just do MP of 20 recovery, so as you can see, there's already a better MP recovery that's at this point over a full heal. Probably by the time you get to the first boss, you'll have probably closer to 20 MP anyways. So feel free to go a little wild with the dewdrops. As you see, we already have like 6 or 7 of them. Yeah, 6. So yeah, go wild with them. You can get free ones, and as I keep saying, they get outclassed very quickly. So use them while they're actually worth something. If you're in a pinch for healing and stuff like that. Let's make our way towards the forest and see what we need to do. There are some goodies, of course, in the forest to check out as well. I try to get everything that I can remember. Ooh, some more hellhounds clipping through the ground, be like. Oh, yeah, I actually fucked that up. So, if you do hit the attack button and there's no physical, if you're not in range to hit them, you want to make sure you're super close, and as you see, enemies kind of move, undulate, pulsate, whatever you want to call it. They can technically move in and out of your melee range, and if you hit it while it's out of your melee range, you just skip your turn, which sometimes you might have to if you just don't have the magic or stuff like that as well. But try not to if you can help it, because that's not great. One thing I did forget to mention is, obviously, besides walking, hitting people with your bonking horny stick style actually does recover 1 hit of magic every single time, which can be helpful. And we're already at 11. And I noticed this, I think, because we got it in Dondarin while we were outside of battles, but we have a new spell called Soul Searcher level 1. I guess we can show that off. I'll try to show off every spell at some point, the ones we unlock, and I'll tell you how useful I like to use them, how useful they are, and how much I like to use them. Sorry, kind of merged that together. I've been streaming for 3 hours. I've been rambling for a bit, a lot longer than I've been used to, but I'm having fun. Hopefully people are enjoying the game, the GOAT Quest 64 here. So actually, we could try using it right now. Missed. Nice. Fucking awesome. Hi, Emily. Cat hype again. And I think this is one of the reasons why I probably don't use this a whole lot. I love the quest. Yo, I'm a #1 quest enjoyer. Thank you guys so much. I knew you guys were all the quest enjoyers. Okay, so they get this little magnifying glass, and you actually see right there, unfortunately, it only shows up for the duration of their attack, which you can't pull up, which kind of sucks ass, but it quickly showed there that there was Earth Element in the top right corner. That was what the, obviously you can match them to the corners of the bottom. And they showed HP, attack, defense, and agility. Just their quick stats. So if you need to see HP, this works on bosses too. It just isn't super reliable. As you see with anything that says level 1, there's always a higher level of it. So there will be a level 2 Soul Searcher. That's a little bit more, I believe, higher chance to hit. So it's helpful. However, this was in 98. We have internet now. Just use a wiki, honestly, for bosses. Very similar to like Libra in Final Fantasy. That's like your white magic identifying scan, I think, is in a lot of other types of video games as well. Never heard of this game before. Looks like a Mario 64 style map. I mean, yeah, very obvious. It was on the N64, obviously, but it's one of the few RPGs. I think one of the only reasons people know about this game really is that it's kind of infamous in the terms of not being super great, and one of the only RPGs because I think I don't know how true the lore is with this, but I mean, they were kind of scrambling for RPGs since their big competitor, their big collaborator in the game before, or the generation before, Square Enix, was doing all the Final Fantasy games. However, as you all know, when it went to the PS1, that was, they went to the PS1 with Final Fantasy 7, 8, 9, so forth. Nintendo 64 kind of missed out on that stuff. It wasn't until later where Square Enix kind of came back and showed up on some Nintendo consoles after some time. So they didn't have many RPGs that showed off the fantasy kind of aspect of this game. I don't remember how many there were. You could probably list them off on a single hand, but the only one worth of note is probably this and Paper Mario, the original Paper Mario. So in terms of good RPGs, probably just Paper Mario. I like this game, but obviously I know it's pretty flawed, all things considered. I still think the map does look pretty solid. It goes pretty far. Draw distance is quite nice in my opinion. And now spooky music. So we're actually in the Connor Forest, and the sign does not work. I don't know why they have signs besides just showing regular stuff here. So yeah, it shows X and a house. I want to say that the X is for the gate that is actually blocked off, and the house is for the fortress, or the place that the robber Solvering is holed up in. And oh my god, it's Frog from Chrono Trigger. Hell yeah. I guess I'll just try to use this more often just to have some fun here. But yeah, Frog Knight. I think this is one of the first examples of enemies that might have more than one attack. He's water-based. Yeah, he has this like tornado-looking attack, in opposed to his wind cutters. The enemies do get significantly tougher in this forest, so it's definitely worth fighting a few of these guys here as we start to see more enemy encounters. But these will help you, especially with the hit points and stuff. And missing apparently. Jesus Christ, man. Okay, I'm gonna start back in a while. He should be close to death, just because I know I'm, almost there, but try it too. We're getting up there, and also 2 more elements, so we should have, yeah, so 7 heals already, which is a lot better than the 4 we've been doing, and just sort of average. Takes a little bit more time, or less time to heal up here. And there we go, we're out of magic already. but it's good. I like using the healing too because it just slowly levels up your magic little by little, which is nice. You know, if you can't use magic, this game becomes incredibly bland very quickly. If it isn't already bland to some people. I like it, but I can understand people might think it's boring. Actually, in this weird dome-looking thing is another spooky song and another element, so... They're really giving you the elements, trying to say, hey buddy, there is a fucking boss fight coming up. Giant's shoes. I bet they smell delicious, don't you guys? I'm sorry for that. I'll do an apology video with tears later. Giant shoes. Takes giant steps in battle and doubles your range. So this is an item. There is a spell. I want to say if you follow the wind path, you also get this as well. But it increases... We need all the apologies for that one. No, fuck you. Yeah, so that increases your movement speed. As you see, that actually is pretty good of a move and a good item too, especially if you need to close in on an enemy quickly. Sometimes you want to close in on an enemy because their range attacks are scarier than their physical, but as we know with this guy, I wouldn't say it's super useful because you want to try to keep the distance, which also sucks because water is a very close ranged ability. So, I kind of shot myself in the ass with that one, but okay, we got Bat. I think these guys are all things considered very weak. They got weird attacks. I know they use the wind cutter, but like jumping forward as well. I think they have just a close-up attack as well, if I remember correctly. Oh my god. They're wind type technically. I know the elements are weird because while it does say like wind type, that doesn't mean they're always going to have just wind type moves. As you see, he actually just used a water pillar. Now I think what the element means is mainly their weakness in terms of anything, not what to expect. But I don't think resistances for you play into anything at all. Not to my knowledge. Like I don't know if you have the more water points you have, like the less water damage you take. I actually don't know anything about that. I could maybe look up into that in my own time, just see if there's anything like in the data that would suggest that. Yeah, I don't think you have resistances. I think it's simply just health. So you just want to tank attacks. There's not. I mean, there is the defense stats, so I think it just kind of levels up. Which maybe that would have been a cooler thing to have, like maybe a magic or a special defense and like a physical defense, whether it's like a close range attack versus a long range. I think these are called marionettes, which makes sense. Marionasty. Kind of looks like Mario Nasty. It's a me, Mario Nasty. Is this like Mario if he ate ass, maybe? What if it was called Freak 64 instead of Quest 64? Instead of being a kid from the monastery, you were somebody from the toe-sucking factory. Yeah. It's a kobold, which you're a pretty common fantasy trope, but not usually wearing a vest and jeans with that Kingdom Hearts ass shoes. But dog, no toe sucking. No, you don't like the sniffing of the feet. Yeah, there's a lot of feet talk apparently in this one. And I just talked about his Kingdom Hearts shoes. Yeah, this guy's... I think this is Fire Affinity without even checking, because he's extraordinarily weak to my Water Pillar. Grant, when are you playing the peak game Quest 64? You could try to avoid the wind cutters, but they don't. They're not super effective. As they kind of home in on you, you can kind of do your best to avoid them. But I don't know. As you see, one miss, but that might have just been more my agility than my blind good dodging skills. But even that's not a magic attack. That's just a physical melee attack he's using on me, or the thing he's using on me. I guess it's just a doll. But maybe having two types of defense would be good. I mean, they don't also have armor or weapons, so just adding basic, fantasy tropes would be probably a good thing to improve this game if I were to. Having an equipment system would be cool. Maybe having customizable staffs, or having staffs that would play to your affinities well, depending on what what element you wanted to prefer to. It'd make runs different. If I knew how to mod, I would probably mod the fuck out of this and make a playable Quest 64 mod with like more options. Oh, I just saw we actually have a lot new spells here. So we have Water Pillar level 3 and Ice Wall. I will do the less interesting one first, which is Water Pillar level 3. It's not super. Honestly, it's not as strong. It's not as strong as you'd expect it to be for a level 3 spell and having 3 points of your magic used, and especially at this point in the game, that's a lot of magic. But it's definitely good for your radius. It's good for taking a lot of enemies up close if you're kind of getting surrounded and need to kind of just hit a bunch, and they're all closed in. It's nice. Ice Wall, we need to use a little bit closer. I will spoil, so I'll wait till they get a little closer to me. This move, I guess I won't try to spoil it, but you can even see, you can hit the Water Pillar level 3 from a decent amount away, which is kind of nice. Alright, now they're kind of coming in on me, so we'll try the Ice Wall here. And I'm actually sad that nobody else hit me. So it's just kind of like a weird burst. It's a very close range attack, but if not killed, it actually has a chance of freezing an enemy like so. Which, if you can get freeze off on an enemy, I don't know if it works on bosses. I like Fragman.
Who is Fragman?
Oh, Frogman. I'm just stupid. Yeah, no, freezing enemies are good. I don't think it's super great. There's a better ice spell, which you actually saw on the enemy, the Ice Knife ability. It can be used long range, which is infinitely more better. But I guess if you need to try to gamble something and use it last minute, I don't know. Like you just need to run. Hope to God, obviously, trying to bank on just freezing your enemies and running away. I wouldn't recommend on doing that. If you're already in that position, you might be figgity fucked, but God, I love how it misses. I will say that's something that does make me mad about this game, where a giant splash of water should probably hurt, but do you not like dripped out Kobold, Jake? You only like Frogman? I do like Frogman too, he's pretty cool. I think Frogman does make an appearance later. There's like a King Frog variant or something like that. I still think the enemy design goes kind of hard in this game. You'll see that with the bosses. I think a lot of the bosses have a pretty cool design. Ah, yes, eyeball flowers, though. As I talk about cool enemy design, then it's just this thing. I'm sorry, I lied to everybody. Man trap. That's so true. Anyways. Fuck you. I love flowers. Oh yeah, these guys can heal themselves. I don't know why that guy healed himself, considering he was probably at full health. It's your buddy here that needs the help. Okay, you keep doing that, buddy. Good job. Good job. You dumbass. That's a lot of HP. Well, that's kind of jacked. Dang, the freezing work. Yeah, the freeze is, as you see, it's not as strong. But I guess you would say it makes up for it, as you can simply freeze an enemy. Which I thought they could still attack. It looked like when I froze that marionette guy, he actually just skipped his turn, which, if that is, that's big. I don't remember that happening. I know they can't move, but if they maybe just don't have... But he has a ranged attack, so I thought if you have the chance to do a ranged attack, they could still do that. But maybe I'm just thinking of you versus the enemy. But I could also very well see that being the case, so... Oh, here we go. Ice Knife. Finally get to show that off. I love Ice Knife. It's weaker than Ice Wall, but it just homes in on an enemy. The only issue is if you're fighting multiple enemies, which one to hit it at. I don't exactly know, as it like do proximity. I'm not too sure. But if you're fighting one-on-one, it's a better better move than Ice Wall, in my personal opinion. Because if you get up close, I think you'd rather just use Water Pillar or other close range moves than using Ice Knife. So I guess keep that in mind if you are using the Water Pillar.
What the fuck was that?
Someone out there acting like a fool, bro. I also think it's a cathartic point of the game where you are a child, and after you run out of magic, you just get into a boxing fight with the enemy, and you just start beating it with a stick while they beat you back until one of you falls over dead. Something about that feels this is kind of cool. I don't know. Hey, yo, got the freeze off on him. That's super hype. Get bent. Yeah, so yeah, it just completely stalls their turn, which is nice. Use Ice Knife. It's a very good move if you go down the water path. Especially since most battles you do start, you know, somewhat away from the enemy. I'll just kind of go with it. We're having a fun. Yeah. Get dead. All right. Yep, this is where the boss is. I'm not going there yet. Does this game have a different song ever for what? The battle theme, the world? Because I'm in the forest right now, which has the same song. I mean, I will say with the dungeons and overworld, yeah. Each like dungeon there's actually a pretty good variety of songs actually in terms of dungeon design or dungeons for this type of game. It's not the same dungeon song for every dungeon, but like forests will have a very similar song, caves will have a very similar song, so on and so forth. The battle theme is the same except for bosses. What are you talking about? I mean, I guess the forest theme in terms of the music is probably one of the weaker songs. But the overworld theme is a bop. Jason, tell them how the overworld theme is a bop. Oh, also another reason you want water is exit. It actually just bops you to the overworld. So, speaking of that, just to show Grant that there's other music. Oh, Jason went night-night? That's so sad. Anyways, this song is a bop. But I hit exit because I went the way that the game wants me to go to, and I will go the other way now. Did I go left first? I thought I went left. Yeah, I think I went left first. Because there's a few items I want to go pick up, and might as well just give us a chance to get a little bit more stronger before the fight. I don't know if we're super ready. I want to try to get some more hit points here, but... Oh, there's a rare chance of getting an enemy item drop. Celine's Bell, so captivates your enemies with sound, freezes enemies. So it has a chance to just do I think an entire party freeze. Once again, I don't believe it works on bosses. I wouldn't bother trying it. But regardless, it's kind of cool. You can find those in treasure chests every now and then. I don't think there's any items that certain enemies drop where you can't get, outside of that battle too, but definitely not worth farming forever. I don't know enemies' drop rates at all, but yeah. I wouldn't bother. Plus, they're not super like the. That's a very situational item. I don't think anything drops like healing items that would be worth grinding for. And if there is, well, I don't know about it. So. I will say, in terms of a first, like, act, you know, being like kind of like the game's first dungeon, so to speak, it's not super crazy. It's just a forest. I mean, I guess different for your generic fantasy tropes where, you know, going to the Earth Crystal, you get some sort of like just generic cave, mountain type of thing. So having a forest level is a little bit different, but spoiler alert, this was not the only forest in the game. Especially early on, some of the level variety isn't super crazy. I think there's 3 forests in the game, and 2 of them are mandatory. One is actually an optional dungeon. And yeah, that's something I'm surprised to say, but this game actually does have optional areas and dungeons. For such a bare bones RPG at times, it's kind of interesting that they even have that. Not saying like that was crazy for this time, but having a game that has very little at some points. I am going the same way that I went last time, because I remember that tree's kind of a landmark with that stupid little hoop over it. So I actually got it wrong. The X is meaning where you go when you die. Okay. I'm gonna just cheat and go to the exit land. Just go this way now. This way's pointless to go technically because, as I said, it's the way to get out of the forest, but it's blocked off currently due to the fact that the robber has the key. And the king doesn't want to do it. Instead of sending his best soldiers, he sent a child with a stick. Get banned, buddy. Grant, what other element, if you're still watching, what do you feel like we should level up? Nobody's giving me a full answer. So we're leveling up. Usually in these games, you can get about two full levels in the elements of the 4. I'm doing water because it has the only healing spells in the game, but what else do you want? Obviously being wind, fire, and earth. If you have a choice at all. I want people to decide instead of me to just choose constantly. Yeah, I think it's proximity for Ice Knife, where it just kind of chooses the character that I don't know if Brian's facing or technically considers closest to. I'll probably get to it because I don't know if I want to max out water or just I might get to healing level 2 and then start putting some stock into a different element. But we're already kind of close there to 25. I don't know if I want to make sure I have 25 for solvering the fight. But then we'll see if anyone we want to pick an element of some sort. So anyways, here's another dewdrop. And here is the area. It doesn't really tell you anything. Like, it just looks just like a PNG of a door. However, it is the locked door to move on out of the forest. Oh my god. I keep hitting the wrong button. If nobody has a choice, or preference, I might just choose like a random search or random like coin flip or something, or random number generator and pick a number that gives me an element that I might start leveling up. I might do like wind. That's kind of one I would like to see. I think wind can be pretty fun. Or I wouldn't mind trying fire because as I said earlier, I think I've used fire the least in terms of all the elements. So no, fire is kind of, you know, conceptually one of the cooler elements in terms of just thinking about an element, but I don't remember it's supposed to be super crazy good. But here is another spirit, so I check after every one. I want to say it is 25. How I've been pretty close to being right, all things considered, really flexing my Quest 64 knowledge. I'm not saying I would, but I would probably do pretty okay at a Quest 64 focused game show. Okay, where are we headed? Got lost already. Okay, that's the entrance. Dang, I missed. Anyways, I think we've seen all the enemies for this forest, but as I keep kind of saying, the variety starts picking up quickly in terms of what enemies you see and how most of these guys have at least 2 different types of attacks. So that kind of stays pretty consistent for the rest of the game. Usually like a ranged attack and a close-up attack. It's nothing super crazy. It's not like they attack your weaknesses. But that would be another thing with parties, having maybe strength and weaknesses or something like that. Or if it isn't a thing, having your elements actually mean something when you are leveling them up. So me having a resistance to water as I'm powering on my water moves would be super cool to see. But either way. I will say battles later on can definitely get overwhelming. As you see, I'm fighting 4 dudes right now, and these bats are probably some of the easier enemies in this forest, but especially if you do get crazier builds, or crazier formations of enemies, it's becomes a lot more daunting very quickly. Shit. I missed. And that's another reason why I'm not a big fan of the forest levels, because goddamn these trees, bro. What is with this absolute dog water luck we're having? Yeah, the enemies are definitely cool. I mean, I know it's not like a saving factor for this type of game. You know, it's like, oh, just because the enemy designs are like kind of cool-ish, it makes the game good. I get that, but nobody ever feels like they talk about them, and I feel like they need some good stuff. I think the models are pretty good. N64 stuff. I mean, I feel like some N64 enemies and stuff are not super good looking. Like even Mario 64, very obviously well-loved game, have some pretty rough looking models. No, this is by no means even close to like one of the best looking N64 games. Ocarina of Time, even on the N64, looked really good. Banjo-Kazooie and Tooie are fantastic. Pretty much any of the Rare games have very good graphics, very good models, all that stuff. But I think it's cool. It's not like this game yet. It's, I don't know, it's not vomiting colors. It's not vomiting gross ass colors. It's got a good variety. Like, I'm clearly in a forest. I like it. Could be the nostalgia talking a bit, but that's okay. Let's try to get a freeze off on boy. Never mind, boy. Boo, he's trying to get up in my grill again. Okay. Just gonna quickly quickly check to see if we've learned anything else. No, that's fine. I don't know if we're going to learn a new spell at this point until we get healing level 2, which is fine. Just keep my health tapped off. I got to make sure I do that, or else I'm going to be screwed at the end of an actual battle. Pretty strong though. I wonder if the game thought you like characters would you know, players would level up in different elements, which I guess I probably did as a kid too a few times, but before knowing like, you know, the healing existed. But obviously our spells are like one-shotting some of the weaker enemies here too. But we're nearing almost half of an element already, which once again max is 50, so. I will say, in terms of simply offense, you just get more damage in terms of water pillar level 3, and that's still probably your best move, which for like water, just because it's probably the most consistent, it's easy to understand where to hit, how to aim it, what so have you. So, oof, that was like it zoomed in on the ice, and that was not a fun view for my eyeballs. Shit, I accidentally skipped my turn again, that's fine. The bad things are kind of tough because their hitboxes are very tiny, so definitely makes them not super great to try to hit. We'll say, I guess we have been seeing it, but I haven't really mentioned it. Leveling up also kind of happens, except for the elements where you get to pick what element you get after a battle. You do level up technically mid-battle. You'll see it when I take damage or use magic. My hit points or magic points will actually increase mid-battle, which is cool. That actually is kind of merit to maybe trying to fight a boss and losing to him. You do get like defense and hit points for fighting him, and you know, once again, you get hit points by taking damage. So who better to give you damage than a boss that does a lot of damage to you? Hence why I also keep saying healing is very good to do, because it just slowly builds up your experience for magic. Magic, you know, that kind of shite. Okay, now speaking of the enemy formations, now we got freaking 5 of these douche bags. I don't have many good moves that do get a lot of enemies unless very up close. Magic, that's so true. In terms of like, I don't know, there's not actually super many like crowd control type ones. Wind has the ability to hit many targets, but not for a lot of damage. Rock can do that as well, but I know one move in particular that's very RNG based, but is also very good move when you need it to. Usually when you need it to, it fucks you over the most, but yeah, I don't know. I think I might want to try it, honestly. The run back to Solvering isn't super crazy, so if I die, I'm not honestly super worried about it. So I think we'll try it, honestly. Yeah, so once we kind of go through here, you see the dude right there standing pretty intimidating like, but this is our first boss. And if you're not prepared, he will kick your ass. So, let's get it. It might not be a bad idea to have healing level 2, as I said, but if you were going around grabbing a lot of the items, you do have a decent amount of fresh bread and dewdrops for this fight. Definitely do not be afraid to use it. Sometimes for these fights, though, it is not a bad idea to test the water, so to speak, and see how much damage he's doing to you and how much damage you do to him. If you get a Soul Searcher off, you can see how much health he has, so we might as well try that as well. Maybe. We'll try it. Anyways, let's go.
What's this? What business do you have in the castle of Solvering, King of Beasts? Did that fool Indonder order you to come after me, brother? idiocy, I stole the Earth Orb and it is all mine. With it, I'll become the ruler of Kenishire. I'll show you the humans what real power is.
Alright, and now we have a different song, the boss theme. I think it's a good theme, too. Hey, yo, first try. So Solvring has actually only 200. That's actually not as much as I thought it'd be. But that was his ranged attack. It was like a fire shot, it looked like almost. That did 11 damage, so he definitely comes in with the heat. You're going to want to be healing, because that did 19. Also a good way to range his attacks like that. You can move, hold left or right, and you can avoid his fire shot sometimes. Also another reason why Ice Knife is great, you don't really have to aim it. But it does cost 3 MP, which is why you want to level this up quickly. So, I'm surprised he's not spending more time walking towards me. Honestly, I thought he would do that more often, which is kind of why I was saying be prepared. I think that second miss, because there's 2 misses that come up, is missing the freezing chance just because you can't freeze bosses. Especially in boss fights, do be careful of your surroundings. You don't want to get yourself cornered. I think you can get yourself stuck on like that cooking equipment in the corner there, so it might not be a bad idea to kind of change your course, so to speak, midway through. Oh, bastard, he still hit me. I'm feeling pretty good about this, actually. Except now he's starting to get a couple hits off on me. Okay. I'm feeling good. Okay. I might want to go on physical eventually for my... when I run out of magic, because I don't want to use too many dewdrops right away. But I'm going to also start running on magic. My stronger moves are clearly also with getting close range, like Water Pillar, and I'll do a little bit more damage. So, while yes, he might be slowly degrading my health, I will be doing the same. I don't want to waste Water Pillar level 3 if I don't have to. I might start coming in close, though. I've gotten a... I probably should have kept a better track, but I definitely feel like I've done over 100 health on him now, so... let's drop another dewdrop. Haha. And I think we're going to start moving it on him a little bit. Oh, of course I missed. That's not great. And that move does nasty amount of damage. But we killed him. Get fucked. And as you see, we jumped like, what, a good 10 health and then only 1 MP point. But that's fine. MP definitely grow a lot less, so... We get a magic point also in water and get the Earth Orb. So what does the Earth Orb do? Absolutely nothing. I thought as a kid like maybe it powered up your Earth magic. I don't believe it does. It does not. But it is like a key item to kind of progress the game. So Solvring is now dead. We murdered this giant dude with the club. Only saw his big scary attack once, so I say that's a win. That is definitely an easy way to cheese this fight. I think... As a kid, I would just walk up to him and he would just spam that close range attack, killing you very quickly. Like 2 or 3 of those hits would get you very close to dead, very, very fast. So now we're here, we can quickly raid this fort. I think if you want to, there's not an item slot for the key. So if you'd want to, you could go in and just head over past the forest through that other gate that we saw earlier. However, as I said already, you would love to go check out with the king. Plus, it would be good to have a little bit more direction in terms of story-wise. So, there's some good items we can go pick up while we're there. Might as well be a good place to quickly reconvene before heading off to our next location. Now I'm just going to drop a exit to save us some time here. And I would use the wings, but at the same time, we're pretty close to Donder, and I'm not going to bother with it. So yeah, here I go, overhyping the first boss. I'm actually doing pretty decent on him, all things considered, but I guess I know what to expect as well.
a lot of boys.
Jesus, arm damage does so much to these guys. No, I did 69. Nice. It's hard to tell, but I think some characters do have actually a little bit of different dialogue change. Let me see. Oh, yeah. The robber seems to have gone away. I wonder who conquered him. Even attacked by soldiers couldn't do the job. Must have been some fantastic warrior. Definitely not you, pussy-ass kid. Bitch. I don't know, all the characters have different dialogues, so I'm not gonna go... yeah, like that guy didn't have anything new. Yeah. Let's just go talk to the king, and I think the princess might have actually different dialogue, which is cool. But let's go speak with the king and let him know we got his little orb man back. You have succeeded where my bravest knights have failed. It's just as the Grand Abbot foretold. I hereby bequeath you the Earth Orb. It will help you in the search for your father and the Eletailed Book. Listen carefully. A hidden door behind this throne room is open. You may take from it any treasures you need. Your courage must be rewarded. Thank you, Father. Alright. Oh, we actually got return. Now, I don't remember what return does. I'll try it while we're here. It looks like we can use it. Does return take you to the last town you visited? I don't remember off the top of my head. We'll mess with that in a sec here. So I got a healing potion, a replica, and hero's drink. All actually new items, and once again, very worth your time because a healing potion, Keltland's Secret Potion, HP is a 150 recovery. That is double our health right now, which is, these are some of the best healing items in the game. You won't need to use them for a while, but it's a great one to pick up as these come in very limited quantities, so you're going to want them. Replica, substitute this doll to escape a fight. If you're not, there is a move that you can use to escape a fight, and you don't have to be in the yellow borders. This is like, I think what the doll from the polka doll, I think of a lot of times. It just kind of instantly escapes. You don't have to be anywhere. You can just do it whenever. If you need to escape a fight in a pinch ever, which would be good to have. And Hero's Drink, another overpowered item for this time in the game. MP of 40 recovery. Once again, probably one of the best MP recovery items at that point, but it's good to hold on to. There's not many in the game. Same spiel as before. But yeah, that's it. I think those are all the items you really can get, so worth your time to just walk the tiny bit of distance back from the forest, but I guess you could probably miss it. I'm sure I missed it as a kid on my first couple playthroughs because I just didn't think to check there or something like that, so either way, I gotta figure out which one was the princess's room again. Give me a moment. I'm going for almost 4 hours now. Wow, that's kind of crazy. But I'm having fun. Hopefully you guys are enjoying this. A little bit something different. I know the game's not obviously the most exciting of games, but I am Greg Gibbs. Okay. I don't know what that means. But yeah, let me see if she had anything different. I really didn't think that you could do it, but now you have an undying gratitude. Are you sure you're just a magician's apprentice? Your powers must be beyond compare. Okay. I thought she had something more interesting to say than just, wow, you're cool. But, yeah. I feel like I can add something. I have something to say about this game as I've played it many times, so I can keep yapping about this game for forever. Adding my own thoughts and, as I said, how to build up Quest 64 to be a quote-unquote better game. But yeah, that's really it. I'm probably gonna think about wrapping it up soon. I think we're at a good point to maybe just call it. The path to the next town does take a bit, so yeah, we'll see. I want to see Shannon, our favorite returning character. Shannon, has anything fun to say that I beat Solvring? That's no ordinary gem you have. Don't let anything happen to it. I have a feeling you are the one capable of releasing its power. Okay, thanks, Shannon. Very cool. Oh, let's try this. I hope Shannon is my brother. He's not, unfortunately. Okay, I think return maybe takes you out of a battle. I kind of want to leave town to check it out real quick. Oh, okay. I think return goes to the most recent town you visited, and then exit is just exiting a dungeon. If there is one, I think it's literally just called escape. I don't remember if that's in the wind path or the water path, but judging how these two are, that might actually be the case in the water path here. Well, I would normally probably end it through the forest. I might honestly cut it about here in there, because I actually could just drop a save here. Unfortunately, I can't do that, and after you get out the forest, it's a bit before the next place to actually rest, so a little bit of a trek, so to speak, here. I'll hang out next to our best friend Shannon. Shannon hype. If I can get... Oh my god. I want the camera to pan in on us to... Okay. Bastard. Okay. Well, either way, I hope everybody's... Why is there crying face? Is that crying man? I think I'll just end it here. I think it's good. I've been going for about 4 hours, and it's about just under 2 hours for both of the parts. I'm gonna get to work on probably editing the two and seeing what I can do. But if you guys came... Oh, sad because goodbye. I'm sorry. I hope you enjoyed Quest 64. I like this game, so I will keep doing more. I will be playing this game a lot. I might even play this multiple times with different runs. One more song. I love the quest. Why do you want me to play more quests? I'll play more. I might do some streaming tomorrow, too. Quest is my father. That's so true. Only 63 more quests to go. Yeah, that's true. I wonder, when are they dropping Quest 65? Whether you join in for the Zelda both or just Quest, either way, I do appreciate you guys coming out. I like this game, and I just am autistically passionate for this game. British! No, I really like the game. I just like to yap about it. It's a good play game. I can talk about it while just doing random shit in the background. So I will enjoy playing this game further, and I'll probably splice this up with maybe other games. I'm thinking about going into the Oracle games next for Zelda, so maybe expect to stream out of those in the near future as well. Is that Ryu? Hi, Ryu. Yeah, I'll probably just cut it here before I continue yapping for the rest of eternity. I appreciate everybody once again. Oh, I boofed it. We good. Okay. Alrighty. I'll see you guys later. Have a great night. Peace out. Game.